Today, I'm here with you with this silly drawing in quotes of mine because I want to illustrate a point about achieving our goals. And as you can see, I'm not that much of an accomplished artist, but hopefully, this illustration is enough to make a point. We want to achieve certain things in life, right? And when it comes to achieving things, not all of us are successful at achieving the things that we want to achieve. So, if I were to generalize and give you some patterns of how people come to not achieving things, and with those, we can kind of figure out, hey, then how do we achieve things? And to help with that understanding, I have this drawing. So, I live in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, if you've seen the movie La La Land, there are a few landmarks. One of them is the one that everybody knows, the Hollywood sign. But the Hollywood sign, what a lot of people don't necessarily know, is there's a very big mountain range in the Los Angeles area. So this mountain range, it separates the San Fernando Valley, which is north of the mountain range, and Los Angeles, which is south of the mountain range. And there is a freeway called the 101, which is the freeway that you see in slightly middle to the right. And that freeway goes through the mountain range, right? And then on the other side of the mountain range, basically across the 101, there is another famous landmark that you also see in La La Land, the Griffith Observatory, which is a wonderful observatory in the Los Angeles area. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so you're visiting Los Angeles, and you want to go to the Hollywood sign. You want to take a picture there. Okay, so the first type of people who don't achieve their goals, who don't achieve things, is they want to go to the Hollywood sign. And they think they can go to the Hollywood sign, totally. And they plan for it, and they think about going, think all they want, but then they never actually set out to go. They never make the first step because they're just thinking about things. So because they don't do anything to actually get to the Hollywood sign, they never get to the Hollywood sign. They don't achieve the achievement of going to the Hollywood sign. Second is, you know what? They decided to go, right? And then the Hollywood sign is up in the mountains, so they walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, and they go, and then they're going up this route, and they think, okay, Hollywood sign is this is how you get it. You go up and up and up and up the mountain range, and then you arrive at it, and then they suddenly find themselves in the Griffith Observatory instead of the Hollywood sign. And now they're thinking, wait, why am I here? They're there because they were misguided on where they actually need to go. They had an idea of where to go, but they weren't looking at the right target for them to go to the destination that they wanted to go in the first place. Now, this is different, right? They actually did go and do the thing, but this also tells us that not just flailing around and doing things without really thinking about, is this actually getting me to the destination I want to? That without that thought, without that kind of course adjustment all the time, it's a little bit difficult to actually arrive at the Hollywood sign, right? Now, the third is, you will note that there is a route like this. So, south of the Hollywood sign is, the Hollywood area. And from that area, you can actually take a hiking trail straight up to the Hollywood sign. But the thing is, it's very steep because it's a direct path, right? You just go up. But it's not an easy hike. But as you see here, there are other routes, right? They're just a bit long wound than the others because the trails are kind of designed with ease of hiking in mind. Okay, so I am set out to go to the Hollywood sign from here. And I walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And then I suddenly find myself being frustrated. Wait. Why does this take so long? No, sorry. Why is this so hard? I didn't understand this was gonna be that hard. And then they give up halfway. And then, well, it's me in this case. I give up halfway and then I just go back home. Right? Another case is, I am going to start going here. And then I take this route and then I take this route and take this route and it's easy. But now at the same time I'm thinking, I've been walking for quite a while here. Why am I not there yet? Why is it so far? Oh man, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go back home. And then I go back behind the valley. And then I arrive back in San Fernando Valley. So, this tells us what? This tells us that depending on the path you take, you have to be aware of what the relative advantage of that path is and what the relative difficulty of that path is. Because when you aren't necessarily prepared to go the hike with its peculiarities, then you're gonna suffer, right? And this kind of planning, although it is taking you to the right step, it makes you quit halfway, right? So to get to the Hollywood sign, you have to know where you are. You have to know the route that you're going to take. You have to know that the route that you are going to take has some options, and the one you have chosen has a peculiar perk that you need to be able to deal with. And then you go. And if you set out, at least you will know, wow, this turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. So I'm gonna go back today, but I'm gonna come back tomorrow being a little bit more prepared. That way, you don't suffer, right? You have your initial estimate, but it's not necessarily like feels heavy on your mind because you have to get there today, right? Now, this is an abstract example, but how do we bring this back to reality? How do we bring this back to the life that you want to live? Well, all of us, right? We want to be happy. We want to have a meaningful and good life where we feel fulfilled. But if all we're thinking about is that, but we don't do any of the things that actually make our lives fulfilled, if we don't do any of the things that make us genuinely happy, then we think about it all the time, but we don't ever get to that destination of a happy and fulfilling, meaningful life. Taking the second approach, we think we're doing the right thing. Because, happy life, it must mean like, when I'm feeling happy, it must feel really good, right? So I'm engaged in things that make me feel good. So I go out and drink, and then I party with my friends. I go to, all these things that keep me entertained. And I watch a lot of TV and, play a lot of games. Because why? When I'm happy, I feel good, right? So I want to be in this state. But the TV show ends, you sober up again, the game round ends, and then you wake up the next morning and you look at your life and like, wow, this isn't really taking me to where I want to be. But at the same time, dopamine feels good, right? So this is the second case of arriving at Griffith Observatory when you really meant to go to the Hollywood sign. You're focusing on the wrong kind of a peak. Thirdly, you may be thinking, okay, so you know what? For my future, I'm gonna invest in myself, and I'm gonna really go hard at it. And then by 2025, we have 1.5 months left, and then so we're gonna really grind and we're gonna really make it count. By 2025, I'm gonna lose like a few pounds. I'm gonna gain some muscle, and I'm gonna be a morning person and blah blah blah. Okay, but your entire life, you never did that, right? So guess what's gonna happen? When you actually try to do it, it's gonna be really hard. But if I don't take into account the difficulty of the drastic change, then I'm gonna be frustrated. And I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is the point of all this, right? And you're sore everywhere, and you're not eating the things that you want to eat, and then you're just cranky all the time, and you're tired, and But you thought, you could handle it, but you didn't actually choose to do it. So that's taking the straight way up to the, Hollywood side, but giving up halfway. And then on the second hand, right? Now, you know what? I'm gonna take the long route, and by next year this time, I'm gonna achieve the same goals. But then, month one, month two, you don't feel any changes. Because why? You're taking the long way. And then you get frustrated. Man, is there a point in all doing that? It's been 3 months and nothing's really working and I don't see any differences in me. So again, you chose the path, but you didn't commit to choosing the path. You think you chose the path, but it's not aligning with your expectations of how it should go. Because why? You didn't actually take into account what the experience would be like, right? So in order to actually achieve our goal, we have to understand, why are we doing it? What's the purpose behind it? Where do we get to? Where do we want to go with this? I want to be a PhD. Okay, but why? What will the PhD do for you? Because I thought PhD would make me happy, but then, now I'm just an unhappy person with a PhD, right? I thought having more money would make me happy, but now I'm an unhappy person with more money. That kind of a thing. So whenever we want to achieve something, we want to think about why am I wanting to do this, and is this actually making me achieve things? So for example, if you want to be happy, there are things that you have to do in the inside, that you have to change your perspectives on a lot of things to find out that, hey, there's no real reason to be unhappy in the first place, right? But if I'm not doing any of that inner work, if I'm not working on my perspectives, and I'm just working on my environment, I'm just making the, people around me, take care of me in a different way, it's not necessarily going to help you be happy, right? So, after we assess what we actually need to do, then the execution of it, how will it actually work? Am I looking for a fast change? Am I looking for a slow change? If so, then what's the intensity that I'm going to go into it at, right? And am I going to commit? Even if it's difficult, if I don't want to, am I going to commit? Or am I just going to follow what I want to do at the time all the time, right? These are, I think, the most important factors in achievement. And now I invite you to think about, where do you want to be in life? In my example, it was the Hollywood sign. But with your life, where do you aim to be?